In a move likely to escalate tensions with Russia, President Biden has authorized the transfer of long-range ATACMS missiles to Ukraine. This decision marks a significant shift in U.S. policy, providing Ukraine with the capability to strike targets deep within Russian territory. The White House maintains this is to aid Ukraine in its defense against ongoing Russian aggression. However, the Kremlin views this as a direct provocation with potentially severe consequences. The authorization follows months of requests from Ukrainian officials, who argue that such weapons are crucial to counter Russia's offensive capabilities. Until now, the U.S. hesitated, fearing that supplying such advanced weaponry could lead to a wider conflict. This recent decision suggests a shift in strategy, perhaps signaling a belief that bolder action is necessary to deter further Russian aggression. The timing of the announcement, coming shortly after Russia's deployment of troops, including forces reportedly from North Korea to the Kursk region, raises further questions. Whether this move is intended to directly counter these deployments or represents a broader strategic recalibration remains unclear. What is certain is that this decision will have ripple effects throughout the region and beyond. The ATACMS, or Army Tactical Missile System, is a surface-to-surface missile with a range of up to 300 kilometers. This far exceeds the range of any other missile system currently in Ukraine's arsenal. With ATACMS, Ukraine could potentially target Russian military infrastructure far behind the front lines, including command centers, ammunition depots, and logistical hubs. This capability could significantly disrupt Russia's ability to wage war effectively. Striking targets deep within Russian territory could force Moscow to reevaluate its military strategy and potentially limit its options. However, it's important to note that the effectiveness of these missiles will depend on various factors, including intelligence gathering, targeting accuracy, and the overall Ukrainian strategy for their deployment. Furthermore, the introduction of ATACMS into the conflict introduces a new level of risk. Russia has consistently warned against attacks on what it considers its sovereign territory. The use of ATACMS inside Russia could provoke a strong response, potentially escalating the conflict in unpredictable ways. As expected, reactions to Biden's decision have been starkly divided. The Kremlin condemned the move, accusing the U.S. of directly fueling the conflict. Russian officials warn that such actions could have severe consequences and that Russia reserves the right to respond accordingly. However, they have stopped short of specifying what form such a response might take. Unsurprisingly, Ukraine welcomed the news, with President Zelensky expressing gratitude for the much-needed military aid. Kyiv argues that these missiles are essential for deterring further Russian aggression and defending Ukrainian territory. They maintain that the ability to strike targets within Russia is crucial to leveling the playing field and forcing Moscow to negotiate a just peace. Reactions from European allies have been more measured. Germany, while reiterating its support for Ukraine's right to self-defense, expressed concern over potential escalation. The UK, a staunch supporter of Ukraine, welcomed the decision, emphasizing the need to provide Ukraine with the means to defend itself effectively. Section 4. The Ukrainian battlefield, a grim reality. The authorization of ATACMS comes at a critical juncture in the conflict. Russian forces, bolstered by the reported arrival of North Korean troops in the Kursk region, continue to exert pressure on Ukrainian defenses. Fighting remains fierce along the front lines, particularly in the eastern Donbas region, where Russia has concentrated its offensive. The arrival of North Korean troops, while unconfirmed by independent sources, has raised concerns about the internationalization of the conflict. The presence of foreign fighters on both sides underscores the complex geopolitical dimensions of the war and the risks of its further escalation. Despite facing a numerically superior enemy, Ukrainian forces continue to demonstrate resilience and determination. They have inflicted heavy losses on the invading forces and successfully repelled numerous assaults. However, the human cost of the conflict continues to mount, with civilian casualties rising and millions displaced from their homes. Section 5. Implications and uncertainties. The decision to provide Ukraine with long-range ATACMS missiles marks a significant development in the ongoing war. It reflects a growing willingness on the part of the US and its allies to provide Ukraine with increasingly sophisticated weaponry. However, the long-term implications of this decision remain unclear. Whether ATACMS will prove to be a game-changer on the battlefield is yet to be seen. Much will depend on how Ukraine chooses to deploy these weapons and how Russia responds to their use. The risk of escalation is undeniable, and the potential for miscalculation remains a significant concern. Furthermore, the conflict in Ukraine has already had far-reaching consequences for international security and the global order. It has exposed divisions within Europe, tested the resolve of NATO, and exacerbated global economic instability. The introduction of ATACMS adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. As the conflict enters a new phase, the world watches with bated breath. The stakes are higher than ever, and the path ahead remains fraught with danger. The coming weeks and months will be critical in determining the trajectory of the war and its lasting impact on the international order.